morning, everybody. I am Melissa and welcome back to the Single Mom Homestead. This morning I'm going to be taking a walk through in the garden. I'm going to show you how we've made some of the beds, some of the plants that we have growing, some of the things that we need to make improvements on for next year. And I don't know how the weather's been where you are, but it has been just nasty hot. I've been having to work out here mostly in the mornings and in the evenings, and I am really ready for this heat to break. Thankfully, they're calling for it to break at the end of next week. But let's get going on our tour. So when we moved here in 2019, there was just a playground out here for the kids, and we made a fire pit. That was about it, nothing special. We did have quite a large garden, in the very, very back of the farm. And while it did produce a lot, it was really hard to take care of. It was really far away from a watering source. We had to stretch hoses all the way across the farm. It made weeding really hard, getting back there and doing it. And so we just decided we needed to do something better. And so we decided to put it up here by the house, and it has been the best decision. It's really easy to water because the watering spigot's right here. And we put down this landscape fabric, you can see. And so weeding has been super easy, and it was just a really good decision to move it here. We are still in the process of working on it. Over the winter, I'm going to be building more beds. I want to build a green bean tunnel, a lot of different things that I want to do. But we were able to get enough done to get some things planted this year and to enjoy it. And I am planning to cover all the walkways in mulch. We did have a big load of mulch brought here. It's been so hot, and I just haven't had time to do it. But I have been putting hay down on it. I was hoping that would help hold the mulch a little better in place. And this guy behind me is Edgar Allan Crow. And he's been a very good scarecrow. He always stands here and does his job. And as you can see, this bed right behind me, this is the cucumber bed, one of our cucumber beds. And we got this lumber for free, and my brother has built most of the beds in here. The lumber that we didn't get for free, we went to the sawmill to get, if you saw that earlier video. It's $25 a bundle from the sawmill, not too far from us. And that lumber really stretches, it's really affordable, and we were able to make a lot of beds out of them. So here are our tomato beds. We have 2 of them. I am hoping to have a few more tomato beds next year. I do tend to can a lot of them. If you watched my earlier video about caring for your tomatoes, shows you how to remove diseased leaves off of them and tying them up. Now I have another one right here I'm gonna have to do today. It's getting those yellow and brown leaves on them. With all this heat and this watering, it's no surprise that they would get a fungus growing on them. The cherry tomatoes have really taken off. They're super tall. We've got a lot of little buds and tomatoes growing on them. This one especially is going to have to really be pruned back. It's not uncommon for this to happen. You just have to stay on top of it. So this cherry tomato plant is doing really well. It's as tall as me, and I don't think I've ever had a cherry tomato plant get that tall. I guess he's loving this heat, but I'm sure not. So this year I tried something different with our potatoes. I had seen this trick of growing them in laundry baskets, and it looks like most of them are doing pretty good. I got the laundry baskets at Dollar Tree. I just put down a bunch of hay or straw on the bottom, and then I put some dirt. Put the seedling potatoes on top of that. Covered it with more dirt, and then as the plants got taller and taller, I just kept adding more dirt until I got to about the top, and we'll see here in a few weeks. Now this area here, I had planned to build a large walk-through green bean tunnel. We did not have time before the gardening season to get it done, but I'll be building that over the winter. We did a green bean tunnel in the old garden, and I actually really liked how easy it was to pick the green beans, able to get under the plants and things. So I'm really looking forward to having that for next year. But this year I planted some pumpkins in buckets. If you don't have room for big garden beds and you want to use buckets, that works just fine too. They're just starting to take off. Yes, I need a weed eat in here. Even with landscape fabric, sometimes the weeds find a way to get through. Here are this year's green beans. We just planted them in one of the beds we made with sawmill wood. can see at the bottom. It turned out really great. I'll show you how we did the corners. You can just fasten them together with, a corner piece. And I also made the trellis here with sawmill wood, just like I did for the cucumbers. But these have taken off nicely. This bed right here, right in front of the green beans, I cannot tell you the amount of struggles that I've had with this bed this year. I started some tomatoes in here, and they just didn't really go anywhere. The few that did, I ended up transplanting them back to the other tomato bed. So I decided I was going to go ahead and use it for corn. Planted some corn in there. Corn never sprouted. So then I decided I was going to do some sunflowers. The sunflowers are doing okay, but I really struggled with having squirrels come and tear up the seeds. So as you can see, there's these, bare patches in the sunflowers where the squirrels decided to have a snack. But I'm just thankful something's finally growing in there. And I love sunflowers. They're one of my favorite flowers. And I can't wait till these get big and tall so we can enjoy them. I learned my lesson from the other bed about the squirrels. So we decided to plant a second bed of sunflowers. And as soon as we got them planted, I noticed they were starting to get in them. So I used this garden netting. And it seems to be keeping them out of the bed. And I'm going to keep that over them until they've all sprouted and starting to grow. And hopefully I will beat the squirrels this time. So here's another bed that we made out of the sawmill slabs. I actually like the way they look. They look pretty rustic. And I'll show you again how we did the corners. You just you can do either like a square piece or like a wedge piece to kind of screw each piece to and hold it together. Really simple, really easy. Now these beds we did put lacquer on the inside before we filled them with dirt, just to kind of help preserve them and keep them from rotting. We have two pepper beds. We have this one in front of me and the one right behind it there. They're actually doing really well, getting nice and tall. In this bed, you may notice the dirt looks kind of funny. We actually put some sheep's wool from our sheep around it to help keep the moisture in the dirt. It's actually done really well, so I recommend that. We also have added some eggshells into the bed. We have a second bed of cucumbers growing. These we started from seed. The other bed we bought plants. And I will probably end up having to trellis these as well. I brought some sawmill slabs down here. They're starting to take off. And this is another bed. You can see how we did the corner. Super easy. So my mom is trying to grow some loofahs for the first time. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Never grown them before, but the vines are looking real nice. I think they're not ready to harvest until October, so we got a little bit of time to wait to see how they do. Now we were a little late getting the corn in the ground because the first batch I planted didn't take. But the second batch is, I believe it's peaches and cream corn. So we'll see how it does doing this late. I'm mostly concerned about getting it going just for seed for next year. And also I like the free corn stalks to decorate for fall. Seems to be doing good, so hopefully here in a few months we'll have some nice corn stalks. There are a few beds throughout the garden that are empty. Nothing growing in them. Just we put cardboard down and some hay. This spring we had so much rain that we had a really hard time getting anybody out here to deliver dirt. I mean, it was crunch time by the time that we got enough dirt in some of these beds to plant. So a few of them just had to stay empty, and we'll make plans for them next year, but we do have the beds ready and waiting This one in front of me, I believe, is going to be the cucumber bed next year. I want to extend it even further down. I like to can a lot of pickles. We eat a lot of pickles here. So I'll probably do another section at the end of this bed. The okra is doing nicely. We have 3 beds of it. We really like pickled okra, and I also like to can it for like soups or gumbo, and you can also fry it. So I'm really excited about the okra taking off. Also have some herbs growing. I'm hoping to make a few more beds over the winter for more herbs. They're growing really nicely. I love the smell of the basil. Whenever I water at night, the smell really comes up. And this is some kind of voluntary pumpkin. We'll say this is the mystery plant. I guess we'll see here shortly what grows. As you can see, we used construction fencing this year for around the garden. It was a really affordable and easy way to keep the deer and the animals out. It won't be a permanent solution, but it did work really well for this year. I ended up getting it on Amazon. So if you need fencing, I recommend that. Fencing for short term, I recommend that. I want to say a great big thank you to my brother and sister-in-law for building these beds in the garden. They put a lot of hard work and hours into it, a lot of months, a lot of days after work, and I appreciate it more than they will ever know. I appreciate everything that the kids have done to help. You know, my 2 daughters and my niece, my mom. This has truly been a family effort. This has truly been a labor of love. You know, I can't take the credit for this. It has been everyone helping, everyone pitching in, everyone planting, everyone weeding, everyone picking, everyone watering. And I have enjoyed every minute of it, and I am so blessed that my family is here and that we got to do this together. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick tour through the garden. Some of the improvements that we need to make for next year is the beds need better fertilized, more dirt. I have to remove that fire pit over there and build more beds, the green bean tunnel. Still a lot to do around here. You know, gardening is always a learning process. You learn something new every year, how to do something better and different. But I would say it's doing pretty well, all things considered. It has been very blessed. And hopefully soon we will have a good harvest out of the garden. Thanks for walking through the garden with me.